Shinsuke Nakamura, a taped video packages with subtitles.
We marvel at this every time it happens.
And it was great. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to see this guy ever hold a microphone again on this show. They should hire an editor that is on Nakamura duty throughout this heel run. He says that when he whispered into Seth's ear last week, he filled him with fear. Seth acts like a man that has it all, but he knows Seth and he knows his weaknesses. I whispered to him, I know about your back. He says his back has been broken for many years and he lives in pain and creates a void inside him that nothing can fill, no matter how successful he is. He is in pain when he hugs his wife, when he picks up his child, and he is a world champion, yet every day he is in pain. And he knows that that Nakamura can break him once and for all. And they are not so different. They each live by a code that others don't. And that code is displayed on Seth's back, where it shows the back tattoo that Seth has. And it's the same back that is failing to hold Seth together. Mm-hmm. His body has crumbled under the pressure of his own vanity. Are you satisfied, Seth, with what you've done with your life? He will not be satisfied until he takes that burden from Seth, breaks him once and for all, and ends it. Watch your back. Oh. This was awesome. This was good. Like maybe the best Shinsuke Nakamura segment in his WWE run. This was so great. Yeah. And this is a legit story that Seth shared not all that long ago on Logan Paul's podcast, like of his back that basically does need surgery at some point.
Yeah. We say segment, I still put like Sami Zayn versus Nakamura with his debut right up there as far as like highlights go. But there aren't too many to speak of when it comes to Shinsuke Nakamura, especially not in a non-wrestling context. This was outstanding.
Ranked with Jinder Mahal using like racism to try and get their program.
Oh, I put it up there with him low blowing AJ Styles, for an entire month. I even bring up like the Sami Zayn thing because I just think, man, like how different would things be if this was the Shinsuke Nakamura that debuted on the main roster with this sort of treatment, this sort of like depth, motive behind his attacks rather than just, randomly low blowing AJ Styles for whatever reason. I mean, they've really figured it out. Like, I feel like we kind of play this dance all the time when it comes to people like, like an Io Sky week after week, figuring out, well, how does she, they're coming with different ways to try to make her feel like a presence on the show when you could just do this, let them speak, do subtitles. Hopefully most of us watching have the ability to read, as people talk at the same time. And the result is just this like incredibly complex message full of depth and meaning and delivered in such a charismatic way. I mean, it's a testament to Nakamura's charisma, his ability to like exemplify like, his sort of like flair, like without speaking that many words. But when he's speaking in Japanese, you can see the full extent of the type of person that this guy is. I think the promo and story are both wonderful. They teed this up with the whispering last week, and I felt like this was the type of message that was worthy and justified Seth's reaction to it. It's so simple and completely believable, and a back injury like that would be incredibly crippling. Pun intended, for the somebody like Seth Rollins to hear. Like it's like basically somebody pointing out the effects of kryptonite to Superman, a hidden weak spot that he's tried to keep a secret with this bravado, the singing, the fancy outfits. I think it's so good for not just Nakamura, but I think it's great for Seth Rollins too. Like the stuff about the tattoo being in kanji in Japanese, it's of the Bushido code. So, the fact that Nakamura was able to come up with a line that's something to the effect of like, how ironic it is that what's tattooed on your back is the same thing that's preventing you from living it because your back is so fucked up. I kind of screwed that up, but ending it with watch your back, I just thought this was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that the chilling words into his ear would have been, I caught up on Impulsive with Logan Paul and got to your episode.
That's where heels get all the scoops.
So a great segment. I thought this was honestly like, other than that opening 15 minutes, I thought this was the best thing on Raw. And Jackie Redmond interviews Seth Rollins, and he gets very serious here that he was caught off guard and doesn't like to talk about his back injury publicly. Like, Seth, how do you think this got out? How do you think he figured this out? You think Nakamura's got like your x-rays? And he's got 2 fractures in his lumbar spine. He's been living with it for 4 years, and he doesn't know how long he can do this at this level. It's not going to heal itself, and that's part of the gig. And says if Nakamura wants to bring his family and livelihood into it, well, he better be prepared to face me man to man. And Nakamura isn't even here tonight. He's off in some studio somewhere typing in his answers. And I'm not a hard guy to find, and I'll be in the center of the ring next week waiting for you. So this guy's going to fly all the way to Memphis on the hope that Nakamura shows up next week. So he could be waiting.
I think the serious tone of the story it's forced Rollins to get serious, and it actually, again, reframes maybe some of those outlandish clothes, the singing, the fake laughing as almost a form of like distraction so he could hide his injury from the world. And I like this. I like it whenever when Rollins can present sort of like that weird sort of like, I don't know, jokery type of side while also getting serious when he needs to.
I think this was a great setup tonight. You've got the instant story for the match. Like everything is working towards the back, like to the point that I feel you could get a second pay-per-view out of this program. Yeah. Like the next one's Fastlane. Like it's a small show. I think you could do some kind of finish that does lead to a second match.
I actually think Nakamura could win, and I wouldn't hate the idea at all. And I didn't think I'd be saying that.
To the back, right on the spine.
And I did not think I'd be saying that even a week ago. That's how strong I thought the video was today, and that's how strong I think the story is for this match.
Very good for like a out of left field program, and to try and heat up Nakamura. I think they did about as good a job as you could hope for tonight.
Oh yeah.